you guys didn't really want to expend any money in their exploration of trying to, in essence, preserve themselves until they came to us with a proposal.
You still don't have a proposal?
No,
Alright,
Is this anything like the town of Waukesha that became a village in, I wanna say, April?
this is a,
Against the city? of
I'm
Waukesha?
not sure what the motivations were behind that incorporation.
That incorporation, they were tired of being annexed.
Then yes, similar
Okay.
in that regard.
The city of Waukesha kept annexing or attempting to annex pieces, and the town no longer liked that, so they held a referendum. That was very successful, and I don't know if it's been taken to court by the city of Waukesha, but I know that it's still in play.
it's in part,
Okay.
it was challenged. Okay, here's what I wanna do here, I think, first of all, this is the first of this resolution today, right?
Correct.
And my first contact with the chairman was just recently. You got a lot of contact there, there's still a lot of questions in here, I'd like to put this on to January, so we can look at this and study this a little bit, even though it's only one page. There's a lot of guts to, this here, when you start talking about, chapter 66 and certain parts of it. I don't see where we wanna get involved in any money here. I think supporting what they're doing is one thing, and I think they're right different to do. But if it costs us any money, well, really not our game.
Paragraph one says that we agree to participate in the preparation. I don't think we can do that. I'd go further and say definitely table this.
I don't see the point. Again, like you said, if the village of Waterford, or the town of Waterford becomes some village, say you're, okay, how would there be, what standing do we have, period?
So I'm wondering, how much of our lands even border? I don't think we border any of the village of Waterford right now.
No.
We have Village of Rochester, exterior plat jurisdiction out a mile and a half. With basically this corner here,
Okay.
and of course you got the Bonneville and you got the East Troy. But the part that touches us here would be basically the north 3 miles here. And that's where the town of Waterford is at.
So is it all extraterritorial stuff?
Well, if they became a village, it would be, right now, it's not, but again, what standing would we have if they do become a village? This year would say we'd be part of a boundary agreement. What status do we have here to even answer that question still there?
No, they did answer that. There have been boundary agreements between townships that the department has approved in recent years.
Okay. All right, let's put this on January. I'd, ask the board to study these 4 terms here, but I agree with what I've seen so far here with Clay. Why would we, the first boundary agreement we gotta get done is with the Village of East Troy, certainly not with the town of Rochester that could become a village.
Well, that came up in our discussion, and he said that the village of East Troy, Village of Waterford responded to the town of Waterford's request to discuss the boundary agreement, much in the same way that the Village of East Troy responded to us and said, basically, we want everything.
All right, the email he sent me, and this may be paraphrasing you incorrectly, it says, about 2 weeks ago, all adjacent municipalities and or their attorneys met with the town of Waterford to discuss a boundary agreement between the town and their respective town or village. It was unanimously decided to bring up a resolution to their boards on 12/14/20, which would initiate a boundary agreement. This comes as a result of the Village of Waterford is actively seeking to annex a large portion of the town of Waterford and elsewhere. And you'd be happy to
meeting did take place, but I did not participate in that.
So he's saying you did, and you also said, you know, unanimously, well, we didn't vote on anything. Okay, all right, let's put this on for January, nothing's gonna happen between now and then, but study what this says and see where, we should go with this. And I guess we'd like a recommendation for you next month also. Okay, keep that. Town mission statement. Barbie handed some stuff out.
Yeah, these are the pieces that I thought were most important for us to take a look at. I have not found a written, quote-unquote, defined mission statement for the town of East Troy, and I think one needs to be done. In our welcome statement, the town of East Troy is defined as, 30 square miles, pristine lakes, streams, productive farmland, public wildlife areas, good country living, okay? On our town website, we gleaned a definition from Wikipedia that again defined us as having lakes, abundant agricultural, natural lands that provide attractive country settings for tourism and family life. When I went to look at the comprehensive plan for the town of Detroit, the 2035 version, chapter 4 is issues and opportunities, elements, goals, and objectives. And, I cited the agricultural, natural resources, cultural, and land use goals. To be honest, I think that we need to take it a step further and actually define a mission statement for the town of East Troy. And the second item that I passed out was, some information that I thought was really helpful in, what exactly was a mission statement, how to craft a mission statement, and some interview questions for leadership that I thought might be the next step.
Okay, and what I handed out was, the, Edgefield Management District newsletter. There's usually a statement in there from the chief and myself, and mine was kind of brief. Matter of fact, I didn't even sign it last year. What it said was, town of East Troy was created on April 10th, 1843 in Walworth County. East Troy is just 36 miles southwest of Milwaukee, has a current population, corrected June 4,067. 3 lakes, Army, Beulah, Potter, are surrounded by abundant agricultural natural lands which provide attractive country settings for tourism and family. And what I added to it to put in that newsletter, was 2 paragraphs, but with the 1 paragraph that would make reference to basically the mission statement says, as to the future of the town of East Troy, chapter 4 of the town comprehensive plan says it best. In combination, the goals and objectives seek to accommodate projected growth in the town population and economic base in a sustainable manner, preserving what is best about the town and minimizing any adverse impacts. This includes all service of the town. That's why, what I would suggest is each of us for our homework, the next month, to write one,
Right.
and then compare it, and take input. Maybe you can publish it, on our website like we did with, the deal with the burn board. But I do agree we should have one.
And I think we need to go one step further after that, have a vision statement to define what our vision is.
Similar to what the chief did.
Yeah,
Before you got here, there wasn't a mission statement for the police department.
no,
Created one.
Or a vision statement.
The mission work.
mission or vision.
Okay, right, sounds like a plan. You can't go anywhere over Christmas, you have to remember. Okay, update on organizing companies for town offices.
That was me.
Yeah, why don't you guys just come up with, we get some proposals from a couple companies that we
Well,
wanna do.
Here's what's going on. The next step was that I called Closets by Design. They will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. to take a look at our facilities and give their recommendation. I believe Val is their, consultant, and by her boss's definition, she is a organizational freak, and often has suggestions that don't necessarily have to do with a purchase from the company, so I'm hoping that's the fast one. We meet with her tomorrow. The second appointment is set with California Closets for Thursday, and I believe they'll be here sometime between 1:30 and 2, is that what you did do that?
She called me today.
She called me and I referred her to it.
Okay, so,
So we're gonna get some
Some proposals.
proposals from them and see what, actual ideas they have. What my vision is that by getting the organizational experts in to take a look at what we have and who works there and what we need, perhaps they can give us some suggestions on, organization for the area, the space, that will help in creating some space in a little bit more breathable area for my
I have
staff to work.
less than this much workspace.
I totally get it, I've seen it, I've been on the floor organizing ballots, so, I really feel that it's a necessary step in terms of productivity and, creating a more happier space for the people that work here.
okay, so John, you'd like to have that by next week?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, joint library agreement, like I said, I've had, discussion on this quite, often here recently, and as you know, when we met, with the full boards of the town of Troy and the village of East Troy, a lot of it came down to the point, well, if we're gonna have a joint library, the first thing they have an agreement, okay? And the agreement was shared with all of you, and we're not gonna get into the pickers here right now about the funding of it, even though, it's obvious that that will be a point that the boards will have to hammer out. But what, we'd like to have happen is to agree on the format. Do we think the format is okay? And, then if we can agree that the format is okay, then we can schedule a joint meeting, with the other two governments here to start talking more about the details. And I know you already looked at it some, you had, I think, a few comments. The main thing is, I mean, it's not that bad, I was expecting, the Dead Sea Scrolls here, but it's only 308 lines, for an agreement is not that. No, 308 lines, basically 4 pages, 2-sided, 3.5 pages really. And this, again, the money part of it, that's gonna be, again, the formulas that they did, we're not gonna drill down to that now. It talks about, how it would potentially be done. There's really 3, one was just population, one was just equalized value, another one was usage, or a combination thereof. And the combination thereof, of course, if you're familiar with the fire district, it's a combination. Okay, so that's something I guess to think about, but that's not what we're looking at right now. Do we agree with the format of that?
Did you ever get a definitive answer from Attorney Larson on the tax issue?
That discussion is still ongoing. I think I shared everything with you except with Kim today. December 14th today, yeah. I just got an email today, from Larson. And here's what John said, afternoon, I just received this from Eric Larson. Scott, Joe, we might wanna talk about this at the end of our Troy Alliance meeting tomorrow night. What's next? I think we need to set up a joint meeting in January with the 3 municipalities and Eric Larson. The town of Troy by motion did agree to the format of the Troy Library Agreement and to proceed to discuss the agreement at a joint meeting with the 3 municipalities at our board, meeting last Wednesday night. And, the last correspondence, came Department of Revenue, and, oh boy, I think I'm gonna have to forward this to you, because it's too long-winded, but basically, we do have some answers here. It says here, the levy increases will hinge on whether the DPI agrees to the new joint library structure, and subsequently, what is approved as the new joint library budget. So they need more information, is what they're saying, but there's more stuff in here, because there's exceptions. But it says here, keep in mind that a levy increase, if approved, would only be allowed in the first year, and would be a base building, in that it would remain in the levy going forward, but it could not be increased in future years due to increased operating expenses, new capital projects, blah, 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 the way a county library levy amount can fluctuate. So there's some more details in here, I'll have to get that to you.
Before we go any further, could we explain to the audience that we submit to Walworth County a fee that far exceeds?
Yeah, and Kim, maybe you got the numbers memorized, but the last time we checked this, the residents of the town of East Troy shipped $162,000 to Walworth County for library services, okay? A check comes back to the village of East Troy, to our local library, of $84,000.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Basically half. And we're saying that's wrong. That's question number one. Question number two is the formula on how libraries get funded is so old that the people that were looking at it didn't even know who wrote it, and they said it makes no sense in today's current environment and structures of the libraries in the district. So that's the library director, all the directors getting together, and they're ready, said that they have to sit. And that process is going on right now. So there's also that element of it. And of course, the last thing is the ownership. I mean, if you're gonna have a true Tri-Troy library, which would in effect have, a population of 11,000 people for that library, it would be a stronger library than what we have currently now. Because it's true that people have been going everywhere, and that's not gonna change. It will change though, if the facility is a modern facility, number one. And besides that, if we still stay part of the, Lakeshore Library System, there still is, a fee there. Of course, we wouldn't have to pay that fee. That would be then part of that joint operations budget. So I'll get this to you on it, but I don't know if you're ready to say, looking at the agreement, if you're okay with the format or not.
I don't know.
I didn't have a problem with it, but then again, some of the information I just got this morning may change my tune out a little bit, but what our intention is to have, probably in January, not January, February, a joint meeting with our boards again to discuss that agreement, because that has to occur before.
I think we have to see the rental agreement. We're not gonna have any ownership of the land. You're gonna wanna know what the rental agreement says, cause the three municipalities are gonna be paying all the property taxes under some sort of rental agreement. Why wouldn't we wanna have ownership?
Here's my reason, number one,
Because you get approval from the electors, for one.
that's one, but the Heritage is a nonprofit. Where are you gonna get a better deal than that? You're paying rent to a nonprofit. You're not looking at the numbers where,
So
they're
it'd be
looking
a
at the
tax
market.
exempt facility, wouldn't pay any property taxes.
Yeah, there would be that, right? So, but,
But getting permission from the electors is.
well, if you're to build a building, it'd be like, a school referendum or a town hall referendum, whatever. And when you go to a referendum on that, this would come down to the same question is, when is the library gonna?
Is this building built already?
No, not even, it's a brainchild right
Very
now,
conceptual.
very conceptual. But, the last site fell apart, the one that we were at the meeting with, where the shear construction was gonna do a horse trade, give basically the village 2.5 acres or whatever for the library.
With naming rights or something?
But then, oh, by the way, you put in the utilities and the sewer and the water and the gas and the road. We had no numbers on that. And we said that was a bad deal. We didn't sign it. agreed to it, meeting with town of Troy, and after they looked at, the village looked at it and said, boy, that ain't a very good deal. You know, so that's when other areas were being looked at. Again, if you look at where the heritage is on Highway 20, then you're in the town line and very close to the schools, it's an ideal place, okay? And not having to build a building and just paying rent for the facility, it would be a library at the bottom and housing above. So I will get this to everybody, this book that came this morning, actually it came at 1:47 this afternoon. But you don't feel comfortable saying you like the format yet?
Not yet.
You,
No, I've got, two major issues. One is, under present circumstances, we're almost equally payers into it now, because we pay through the county, they pay through the library federation, and some of it gets back. As I understand it, the village was looking for like maybe 120,000 potentially. We were at 90, so we paid a little bit more, but we saved because we're not paying the 160. So we come back on that. My concern is if there's a dissolution and we wanna go back to the old system, now you have to apply back to the federated library system to become that member, so that you're no longer gonna be a political affiliation of the library system, but you're still gonna be paying money to it through the federated library system. So in a sense, we're still members, we're just giving up political participation in that creation. So now we have to figure out what, if the federated library system is gonna return the status quo to that member that wants to withdraw from it. I think that needs a little more clarification, needs some input from the federated library system. If there is a dissolution, how is that gonna be reestablished?
the agreement would take care of the actual dollars and cents. As far as the funding of the library, we would then go back and pay the covenant.
Well, that's an assumption. I mean, I don't know what's gonna change in a couple of years down the road. I'd like to see that in writing, than just saying, we're gonna give you a 3-year notice, and then we're gonna go back to the way things were.
That's pretty good.
Right.
The other thing is that it says in here that only village, people can be employees at this library.
No, I see your comment on that, and I look at, it says they'll be employees of the village, it doesn't say they have to live in the village.
Okay.
Employees of the village, which is different than saying that all employees have to be in the village. Okay, so that's,
All right, so, okay, employees of the village, so who has the say-so of employment? Is it the tri-board?
it's the board,
Okay,
and the board, would have to have a board member, a town board member on the board. Right now, we don't have that, we have two appointed ones.
well, that's why I went to, why, is it because of taxes, or, you know, holdings or something that they have to be, considered village employees?
Well,
Cause the village does the payroll,
yeah.
that's what it is, simply.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, great.
You know, payroll. And that, I don't think changing that would be a good thing. The only question is how they can pay for it. You know, I mean, it's similar to when Greg and his guys do work on a sanitary district, they bill to that. I would take it that, you know, the billing, you know, for the payroll and benefits, that administration is a cost. You know, and right now, I don't know how it's paid for within the library company.
Does it say on the list of exceptions that you're gonna send that the state wants to see in terms of levy issues, what the operating expense number has to stay under? Because we don't know what our operating expenses
Yeah,
are.
they're saying that whatever the cost, the monies that are currently being spent, for the first year, you'd be locked into that. And maybe even beyond that, until you're totally out of the county, because we're saying that we're part of the Tri-Trade Library, we should not have any levy to the county. Period.
Okay, otherwise we have a double whammy, we pay to the federated library system, plus we're now paying into the tri-choice system, so we got two bills.
Right. Right. not a good deal for us now, that's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, I'll get this to everybody, I'll let you guys know at the meeting tomorrow, that we're not gonna agree to a format until our January meeting. So if we have a full board's meeting on this, it'll be late January or February before the full board gets together, all three boards. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, Jim, by the way, I do have the vacation stuff. Okay, so I'll forward those emails to those two forward, I'll do that tonight if I'm on. Okay, new business, Symbiont proposal for 2021 groundwater consulting services. This is at the, old dump, correct? And, I looked at the proposal, and it's basically the same as last year.
It's already been approved through the budget for the landfill.
Okay.
So all you have to do is make a motion to approve it and sign.
The amount is for all the testing, sampling, and reporting, it's, $12,780, Symbiont Engineers. I didn't see it, again, we asked the question all the time, I think we stopped doing this, but they're still getting readings out there, so. Probably not for a while.
Okay.
All right, so we need a motion to approve that proposal.
Will we approve the, city of proposal for groundwater disposal services of, $12,000 something?
$750. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the $12,780 with Symbiont. Any questions about it? Motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. You have approval form?
I have no report.
No report, other than the stuff we just talked about. Well, there is one thing we do have to talk about. The letter that we received from the Landon District.
Attorney Michael Bauer, B-A-U-E-R.
It is in regards to the West Broad Cottage Industries LLC, the property on Springersburg Road.
It wasn't noticed, you can't really talk about it.
Well,
No, it's going on for
We're
January.
on for January, so put that on. The letter
I
was
didn't get
dated.
a copy of it, so
You have a copy?
I didn't get a copy.
I did forward this to you guys, the letter. This one?
No, it came in the mail, there was a big thing that came in the mail.
Okay, well, I got it electronically, and I got it, in paper. Oh,
It says it was electronically copied to Barb and Clay.
I'll go look for it.
yeah, let's see that. Okay, check that, not, I'll get that to you. Put that on the agenda for next month. This is a long-term deal. This has to do with a alleged marine operation out of C4 zone. A lot of paperwork on this. I had 6 inches of paper on it, so I did forward some information. So, need a motion by Jim to
You didn't.
Well, that'll be next month.
put it on the, well,
Yes.
put on the agenda for next month for this.
If I know what it is, I will put it on the agenda.
There's a question. in
I
the
believe I
audience.
saw it. I think this is what I said.
I didn't get anything, so
Okay,
I don't.
Joe,
Yep,
the hand up in the audience.
yes, sir.
Can I ask a question as to what, or how we're gonna find out about what he's requesting?
After I get authority to talk to the attorney and report back to the town, probably at the February board meeting on the 8th.
I mean, we're having all these problems with him right now.
Mhm.
And we would like, or as many people here would like to talk about the problems, but when would you like us to talk about it?
We're gonna have it on the agenda for next month, January. I think, most people that live down there are fully aware of this issue. This is been going on since before I even got on the board.
He may be.
I'm talking about the residents of this person,
Mhm.
which is, they're making a mockery of the township.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
They have brought more stuff in than they've taken out.
Well, wait a minute.
He's on the
Wasn't
junk
that-
issue.
I know, you don't wanna get into it, but when do we talk
Well,
about
this
it?
is the.
We're talking
the
about
Chief brought up.
a marina.
I know what you're talking about,
He's not talking about-
I'm talking about the residents, but also the marina. We would like to know what the request is for what he's doing and when and why.
There's a complaint here, and the county's got the same letter.
Yes?
I made a call into the county, did not get a response yet on this, but that's what we're gonna discuss in January. This is the
Right.
marina issue.
Joe, I think he wants to address the property north of Fred Staff. This is the one where I believe they
Well,
live.
that was on the agenda,
That's on the agenda.
That was under police report.
right?
Yeah, but I think that's what they want to discuss.
Well, we'd like to discuss, you know, there's 4 or 5 people here, we'd like to discuss
Why
that.
didn't
You
they
want the
come up
meeting
with
to
a
be
public
ended.
comment?
I had public comments, why didn't you bring it up then? Okay, you all right? It's on the agenda, you all right to have a discussion here? Briefly. You heard what the chief said, second citation, 2 citations,
Correct,
you heard?
Trial, I believe it said in March.
Right,
right, March to April,
April.
April 15th,
I
Okay.
need a name and address.
But-
Janine,
Bernard Vaughn. 8634 Stringers Bridge Road, right next to them. I mean, he's bringing more in than he's taking out. He's a mockery to the police department.
Well,
He
those are
drives
all, those are all be trial issues when you're subpoenaed to give testimony at the trial. You can tell the judge that.
Meanwhile, we keep bringing more and stuff in.
The town board does not issue citations or rule on citations that are issued.
I understand, I rule out citations. But who do we bring these complaints to? The police department?
Yes.
We call it, well, shouldn't we gotta call him, 3 or 4 people gotta call him every day. He drives down the road pulling trailers with guys standing on the trailers. He drives his machinery around in the dark after, half hour after sunset.
Some of those may not be ordinance violations.
Right, I understand, but between the whole works, he's making mockery of the whole town and the police department in the town, and we can't get anybody to move. Why don't you, instead of a little fine, even the county said $663 a day, and they still haven't started anything since May. What are we doing even talking to you people about it?
I think what the town has to recognize, there's frustration here. It's been going on for a long time. That's what you're hearing.
And it's not just me.
And I think people are saying the town has not fully addressed this issue.
They haven't. This is a junkyard that he has there. And
I just saw the first citation issued a month or 2 ago.
second
One month.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the second was December 4th.
Right.
So I'm not privy to how many years you've been complaining. I just know when I first saw it on the municipal court docket.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done anything to remove anything like he said he would. So you issue a citation, everything stays the same.
Barney, you're lying out of your ass.
I am not.
Yes, you are, Barney.
If any of these-
I got pictures up the yin yang. I got receipts from places I took stuff to scrap them. You're up here grandstanding out of your ass.
Yes, or if they want to, contact me, if you know of other potential witnesses for the trial that's been scheduled, I can include them on a subpoena list.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna get a number of them.
Okay.
Do that.
I want address and phone number, so I can contact them to see if their testimony would be useful.
All right. Return report, license and special events.
We have one special event on request for the Jim Burns Memorial Park for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for a family Christmas picnic from that number. The chief has reviewed and approved.
All right.
I move we approve the, special event for Metro Best North for the Jim Burns Memorial Park on December 24th and 25th.
Second?
All right, motion is second at the special event, permit, on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Special and pending meetings,
Alright, let's see, the planning commission meeting for this Wednesday was canceled. The town hall will be closed on December 24th and 25th, and on January 1st. Planning commission in January is the 6th and the 20th, and the next town board meeting is scheduled for January 11th.
Details of that meeting will be forthcoming, Zoom or whatever.
which one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, on
Board
Warren,
meeting,
Warren, yeah, that will be probably determined in mid-January, or sometime in late January.
Weekend of January 11th.
Oh, that's it.
January 11th meetings are.
Yeah.
Because they're regular board meetings.
Oh,
I spoke with the town clerk treasurer, and they have, there's different options for Zoom, and the option they have allows anybody to talk at any time. The Village of East Troy has a more expensive version of Zoom where they can mute people, and just would allow like the 3 board members to speak. So, I still need to talk to Eileen from the village and figure out what exactly they purchased, because Tracy told me their membership costs about $500, and the village's was like $1,000. So,
no, when you say $1,000, is that for a year, is that for a meeting, is that for?
that's it. I believe that's a annual membership.
An annual membership. Okay. All right, so, like I said, I don't think we should meet in person in January, February, okay, I think we should Zoom it. Hopefully by then, things will start straightening up some of it, you said, Chief, as you mentioned, the local, COVID cases. I know quite a few people now that had it, and we said we wanted to keep this meeting to an hour, well, we got an hour 15 and we're on an hour 20. I think we're okay, but we're in an enclosed building here right now. So, I think we should make plans that the next 2 meetings are virtual. Ready?
Try.
Agreed? Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, motion to adjourn, let's do the pay some bills here. Motion to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I think I did.
Yes.